Hi, I'm Alex Lamb, author of the Roboteer science fiction novels, and welcome to my video series, Secrets of the Universe. You've seen the introduction piece, now let's get into some content. Let's begin our thrilling journey of discovery and adventure. I thought that a sensible place to start would be to talk about some of the tools which I've used in my personal quest to understand all things, because I'll refer to them a bunch in the videos that follows, and also I think they're sort of useful and interesting, and hopefully other people will get value from these things. So I've got 3 super duper learning tools that you can use to unpack reality, and they are spider reading. Number 2, agent-based modeling. And number 3, improv theatre. Now those might not, on the face of it, sound like an obvious sort of tool suite that one would immediately go to in order to basically, for instance, understand particle physics, let's say. What has theatre got to do with that? And what's spider reading? I mean, what is spider reading? You probably aren't aware of spider reading because I made up the name of it today as an attempt to explain what it is that I do with reading. So let's start with that. Let's start with spider reading. What is spider reading? Well, what spider reading is, let's say you want to understand a subject. Let's say you want to understand physics or the brain or whatever, and what you do is you go pick up not a textbook, and you can start with YouTube if you like, as we're doing here with YouTube. YouTube's obviously a great way to learn, but anyway, what you do is you basically pick up a pop science book on the subject of your interest, and it should be initially a light and fluffy one, and then you read that, and then you pick up another book written by somebody else on a similar but highly related subject. Once again, pop science, light and fluffy, and then you read that, and then you pick up another one and you read that, and then pick up another one and you read that, and you iterate backwards and forwards over the topic. And why is this spider reading? Well, because I consider it like a spider cocooning its prey. Basically, you're building a web of knowledge. What you're doing is you're iterating backwards and forwards over a field, and the process of doing so, what you're doing is capturing the essence of that subject so that you've got it embedded in your mind. And I recommend, as the first subject to do spider reading with, is studying the brain and how learning works and how cognition works. And why do I recommend that? Because if you do study the brain, what you learn is that there is a reason why spider reading is as effective as it is, which is that when you read multiple different contexts. You read in the car, and you read in the bath, you read in the shower, you read riding up a horse up a mountainside, or attacking a killer sloth with a baseball bat. Reading in all these different contexts, what that will do is embed associations in different parts of your mind. So when you reach back to that topic, the number of different points in your brain which refer back to the thing that you want to know about has been maximized. Also, because you're reading pop science books and you're keeping it light and simple, your ability to think about about this subject is greatly increased. So the amount of time that you can attend to a subject is way longer. When you're reading something like a big chewy textbook, or you're trying to read a science paper, you have to focus the entirety of your attention onto that field. And what that means is that your prefrontal cortex is maximally involved in that subject the whole time you're trying to learn it. And from a learning perspective, this is shit. Because most of the learning actually happens not in the top part of your brain, in the prefrontal cortex, but in the stacks underneath, in the sort of subconscious reasoning stacks. And that's where you want to embed your understanding of a field. You want as many of those reasoning stacks, subconscious areas of expertise to be engaged in a subject as possible. And you basically want all of those sort of like filled up with knowledge juice before you go on and then start reading a textbook after you've already read 25 pop science books on the subject, because that is how you go into a subject already feeling confident and informed. And like when somebody starts busting out some kind of weird sort of quantum mechanical symbolism, you don't get freaked out. You basically, I know what that is. I saw that in book 11. So that's spider reading, ladies and gentlemen. That is the mechanism via which I discovered this years ago doing a physics project. I suddenly wanted to understand more physics for completely, actually weren't random reasons, but I'll explain the reasons in a later video. Anyway, suffice to say, what I discovered is that I was wanting to read a bunch of that stuff light and casually, and I read nothing but physics, pop science books for a year, and I was astonished at the end of the year what I was capable of doing. I realized this is an extraordinary trick. It can be employed in many contexts. And then I went on and did it for evolutionary biology and sort of like anthropology, sociology, sort of like social behavior stuff, and any number of different exciting fields, all of which we'll get to come to. But first, I think that's probably enough for one video. Spider reading, ladies and gentlemen. I heartily encourage it.